Hey, what's up, everyone out there? Thank you so much for tuning into another Addicted Fishing podcast. We got someone here in the studio that you guys have been commenting and asking where he's at. I've been wondering the exact same thing, but he's here sitting right next to me right now. We got Mr. Eric Swanson in the booth.
Yes, I am.
He's going to join us on a podcast and a live feed tonight.
You betcha.
We're talking about some salmon, huh?
That's right, talking about some salmon. And just real quick, if Marlon and I's voice sound really tired and really worn out and really,
it's 'cause it is.
really
They are.
throaty, because the last 2 days we've been fishing in an absolute freaking snowstorm, but catching a few steelhead. Might have been some yelling, might have been some excited moments, but it was pretty epic. And we filmed it all for you guys. I cannot wait for this video.
It's going to be a cool video.
So, I mean, besides the fish catching, so much other stuff. We're not going to tease it out there, but if you kind of wonder why we're kind of...
There may or may not be another prank coming. Let's just say that.
It was so...
And we got someone so good.
So dirty. It was how a prank should be.
Exactly.
It was how a prank should be.
It was planned out perfectly and executed perfectly.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. But, yeah, so we're hot off the traffic of Portland and in the studio, but we got here for Mr. Swanson.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd the Springer season go, dude? Because I saw tons of pictures and tons of killing.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was probably better than, other seasons. The last couple of days out there was absolutely phenomenal, and it was really sad to see it end, right when the fish showed up. Because I remember the week before, it was like, oh, one fish here, one fish there. Then the last couple of days, it was how Springer fishing should have been. I remember that first pass in the morning on Wednesday. Dude, I called you and you're like, oh my gosh, we got 4 dead. And at that point I was 1 for 4. And I'm like, oh, this is insane. They're all over the graph. We're just hooking them left and right.
It was dirty.
It was really cool.
But that's classic though. We're only allowed to kill, I think this year it was only like 5,100 fish. Like,
it was
because
pretty low.
By the time and that's what we're talking about tonight, guys. We had our fall salmon seasons announced just last day or two. PSMFC's done. North of Alkin's done. The guidelines are out. So there's going to be some like regulatory like changes coming up, but like for the most part, we know the seasons now, and that's what we kind of want to delve into a little bit with Mr. Swanson, because everyone's wanting to talk, salmon. Yep. It is supposed to be spring, but it's not really spring.
4 inches of snow the other day.
4 inches of snow, but that's what we're talking. We're talking salmon with one of the best trollers on the Columbia River. But that day was epic. That was fun.
That was a cool day.
But unfortunately, because we kill 1,000 fish a day at those last couple of days, and we only are allowed 5,000, it goes quick.
It goes early.
Yeah.
It does. But at least, we made it happen. We had some really good days mixed in with some tough days, but I would say overall it was a good season.
Better than last year.
Yeah, you bet.
Better than last year. We had a little current through the tides.
Yeah.
We had another year where the slack tides really didn't produce a lot of fish.
No.
But then when you got current that actually channelized them and kind of moved them into the spots you could get at them, we got at them.
Yeah, some of those mornings where you had like a 9 or 10 o'clock high tide, and so like the first 2 or 3 hours were kind of like slack frog water.
Hoping you run into
my
one.
gosh, you'd mark them anywhere from the bottom to 15, 20 feet off the bottom. It was just really hard to target fish when they weren't like pushed to the bottom and to the sides like in normal years with some higher water.
Right, and Columbia was pretty clear, but it wasn't fall clear, and so when you had fish that were suspended up, you had to put it on their nose, but it's a lot eeasier to put them on the nose when they're all on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. We know right where they're at.
Yeah.
But good season. Now we're kind of moving into the Willamette and that kind of a thing. So
how's that going to be? Is it going to fish good this year?
Yeah, it will. It will definitely, and it has been. The first couple weeks of April in the years have always kind of been tough, but the last week and a half has actually been pretty good. So I'm hoping that's a sign for good things to come.
Yeah, I can tell you, usually there's a little bit of a dull period like right after the Columbia close.
Right,
it seems like
sure.
it takes like a week or two to fire up, but we've heard and seen some
good
really
bites.
good numbers. Not to mention, for at least the last time I checked the dam count, at that point in time, I think we only had like 1,100 fish over.
Right.
This was like 3 or 4 days ago, but we were beating the 10-year average over Bonneville.
Yep.
Some of our tributaries, we've been talking about this a few times in some of the podcasts and live feeds, but some of the tributaries, Hydro Project received springers earlier than they'd ever had in existence, and some of the tributaries are kicking out fish already.
Yeah, that's good things.
Above and below dams.
Good things to come. So I'm on this text string with about 5 other my guide buddies there, and so I've been at the coast the last 2 days with my girlfriend, just kind of on a little vacation after I fished for like 20 days in a row, just kind of getting back on her good side. And anyway, so one of my buddies killed 7 in the Willamette the other day. And like,
Ooh.
I'm sitting at the coast,
in the Columbia? Oh, no, the Willamette.
no,
Oh,
the Willamette. So I'm sitting there like at the coast, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So, anyways,
what are you doing? You're getting ready because that's the other thing. Like a lot of people think that when that Columbia season's like it's over, and it's like no, that's like the first 25% of the season, really. Like so, it's just starting.
Like I kind of go back tomorrow, and as long as I don't get canceled on, I'll do like another 16 or 17 days in a row, and kind of that thing. So getting back into it, excited. Good fish numbers, good catch numbers, good weather, hopefully.
I was just trying to pull up the Willamette turbidity.
It's starting to spike a little bit.
It's starting to spike. So I was going to ask, like, so what's Mr. Swanson like going to go for? Are you going to get on the 360 game or still the triangle bait game?
So last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I ran 360s. And Friday and Saturday, I did better than everybody else. And on Sunday, that turbidity had spiked and it had moved down to where I've been at. And I kind of got my butt kicked a little bit on Sunday because... the visibility went from
temperature.
Like definitely visibility. Temperature was the exact same, but the turbidity went from like 4 to 7, and so my visibility went from like 3.5 down to 2, and that killed my bite, no doubt about it.
I know another angler that. So you said, he killed 6 one day. They only killed one the next. So like
exact same situation.
Yeah, wondering if he's 360 till the day he dies.
Right,
but. I mean, well, unless something else comes around that catches more fish than a 360, than a short bust 360, I don't know what it is.
Right.
But yeah, so maybe that's the number.
So
put that in your notes, kids. 4 to 7.
4 to 7
on the Willamette turbidity.
That's kind of your magic.
It might be the sweet spot.
So,
but then the bait guys got him.
Yeah, then the bait guys did get him, and I was getting phone calls and getting pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I kind of was just sticking to the program where I got him the day before, and kind of didn't pan out.
But that also is springers. That is springers. I mean, shoot, I had a day like 3 weeks ago in Columbia. I had 5. I'm like, yeah, it's starting up. And the next day I had like 1 bite. They just weren't there.
You can go from 0 to hero in, 24 hours, basically. 12 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hero to 0 and 0 to hero.
That's right. But no, I mean, it should be pretty good. I mean, I think there was a little more than 40,000. Last year, the prediction was 50,000, but they ended up with 40.
Right.
But, I think as this season carries on and we keep seeing these good fish numbers, there's openings up on the, I'm just going to say it, the Cowlitz and the Wind, and not that they're significant now, but those were closed last year's seasons and they are open this year. So maybe people get spread out and get some opportunity. But
so when you start, you're later on springer season here after you get on walleye fishing, are you going to go up to the Wind or are you going to stick to the Willamette?
All depends on that magic dam count. Yeah. I don't need to go nowhere until that dam count tells me to.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. Some of those fisheries, and then also too, like as we start to see some of the Oregon City counts and stuff like that catch up a little bit. Even though, granted, a lot of times, in some fisheries, when you're seeing the dam counts good, then you've already missed it.
Right.
For sure. You got to kind of watch them pretty close.
Like anticipate when it's going to spike and all that. So you'll kind of just move around depending on what the dam counts are.
Yeah, when I book trips in April and May, I tell them, these are our options. Yep. Plan on going here, and we will go wherever it's best.
Exactly.
Because we can get a big rainstorm.
Just plan on.
And they'll knock the Willamette out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Which kind of a game we play.
Which might be coming up here, after all this snow melts in the lower valley. I talked to my good buddy Cody Herman, and so he was down in the Willamette area day before yesterday, and he said the coastal fork of the Willamette was blowing out chocolate mud.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm kind of waiting to see that wall of, and I don't know. So, obviously the turbidity is spiking right now, so I don't know how high it's going to spike, but I have a feeling that's kind of what we're seeing coming down now. So,
well, and we just got this random April snowpocalypse all of a sudden that dumped a lot of snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The mountains were pretty driving home.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, I think, 70 degrees next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's that going to do? It's going to bring everything up, and it's going to cool everything off, too.
Yeah. Yep. I did hear the Columbia, from some of our walleye guys doing some walleye fishing. They said it's dropped 2 degrees on that east side in the last, 3 days. It actually kind of cooled the bite off a little bit, cooled the post-spawn walleye bite off, but...
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, either way, there's the Springer rundown. You'll fish Springers, till mid-June?
Until I start summer Chinook fishing. So till the first week of June, basically. Yeah. And then I'll start switching over.
And speaking of summer Chinook, we just got our season set.
Yeah.
Just today. What do you think about that?
Well, so I had to call a lot of people, shoot a lot of text messages to kind of let them know
the bad news.
Let them know that their date was going to have to be a Springer trip or a summer steelhead or some, because I think we got 8 days, 6 days. I mean, it was pretty. pretty
Yeah, there was a
slim.
lot of discussion with that because, like I said, PSMFC, North of Falcon, all that process is done. We've got seasons, and they gave us a summer Chinook season in Columbia for only from June 16th to June 22nd.
Yep.
And there was there was some discussion back and forth about maybe like pushing the start date later, just because if they really get rid of those first 5 to 10 days of the season, like according to their checks, take it with a grain of salt. We catch a lot of fish on the 16th and a little less on the 17th, a little less on the 18th, and so on and so forth. So, like, if you get rid of some of those really catch-heavy first days, then the season, if you start it late, can kind of trickle out. There's summer Chinook every day in the river in July.
Right.
But I think that they kind of flopped on that. I thought they were going to go for the later, longer season. Instead, they went with the shorter season, but it should be really productive because that's the other thing. The spring Chinook number is still over 50,000.
So most of the time when we're summer Chinook fishing, probably half the fish I catch every day are still, they're still
black.
Yes, they're still springers. And you can tell because of summer fish, they're like 16 to 18, like 5 spots on their back. And then you'll get this black face 12 pounder with a million dark spots and a purple back. And you know for a fact half those fish
when
are
it dies in the fish box, its belly turns to coal, which is a good thing.
Which is good because they cut better. But for sure, a lot of those fish are still springers. For sure, 100%. Yeah.
So you're going to fish there without the runoff this year. I think it's going to be a 360 game or an anchor game.
I think so. The spot I fish, I think it's always an anchor game because it's such a kind of a pinch point, and the current always rips. Depending on water levels, but it always seems to rip through there. So I'll primarily anchor fish.
Yeah, talking about like that current channelizing fish, you're not going to have any problems even if the low Columbia.
I just tell people the spot I fish is a fish highway.
There you go.
It's a fish highway.
Let that current push every single one that's going to swim up a 400-yard wide or a 500-yard wide river behind your boat.
They don't want to be in 40 feet of water, and they're not going to be on the bank, so they're going to be on the spot I fish.
Eric Swanson's spot. What about the fall seasons? Have you checked that stuff out yet?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so it's the first 24 days is hatchery only.
This is buoy 10 starting August 1.
Yes, so it makes it a challenge to limit out. Because it seems like at least 3/4 of those fish I catch down there are all pretty much wilds. So.
Yeah. Well, the last couple of years, the mark rate has been good, and they do think that it's going to even improve even more this year.
I sure hope so, because I really like those.
I think they had a 60+% mark rate last year in that fishery as far as marked versus released.
Right.
And then this year, there's a huge component of like these Bonneville pool hatchery fish that are going to come back, which, truth be told, are toolies. But they're not the bad toolies. We can kill as many of those things, and they're not going to hurt us as the wild ones.
Talking about mark rates, the mark rate in my boat is way lower than 60%. I mean, it's like even for springers. Like if I have a good day where I bang out like 6 or 7 springers, 2 or 3 of them are always wild. It's always one of those things.
Roll the dice every single time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, August 1st through 24th this year, hatchery only, and I mean. It's kind of a weird situation too, because like just being on, listening to the meetings and getting the handouts and whatnot, like last year we had August 1st through 10th hatchery only. And the idea was that if you just gave up if they told the sportsmen, just give up those first 10 days and then we'll get you to Labor Day. If you guys do hatchery only over the first 10 days, we'll get you to Labor Day. Cause that's like one of their management goals is like get the buoy 10 fishery for Chinook through Labor Day.
Right.
And unfortunately, they missed guest on the 10th. We're better fishermen, or actually, what I really think happened is more toolies showed up. They survived better. Ultimately, they did end up statistically almost dead heat to the forecast, but there was an increase in what actually came back for the LRHs, or the toolies that we can't kill, or the lower wilds. Excuse me. So this year, there was actually forecast to be less of them.
Right.
Which is why instead of just bumping it to the 15th or a little later on, it's like, well, shoot, they had to really look at it and bump it to the 24th. Well, last year in those first 10 days, we only used like a few percentages, like 2 to 4% of like our impact in 10 days of fishing at buoy 10. And we had good fishing.
Right.
We
really
caught
good fishing.
A lot of fish, and we killed a bunch of fish. Yep. And some days, you're right, took a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we had, good fishing. But
will there be a lot of coho though too?
Yeah, and so this year, I think the way the process worked was like, well, we didn't really burn any impacts in those first 10 days, so let's extend it out further. And keep in mind, like, there's less of those wilds. That means we can fish on them. We can basically catch and kill them less. And when you have a hatchery-only season, you're not killing wilds.
Right.
Like, the take is 0. There is release mortality associated with that, which is why there was a small percentage. But for the most part, it's
low.
It's low.
Yep.
But by extending it out the 24 days, they assume that after we go kill them all on the 25th, it will get us to Labor Day. Now, like what you said, Marlon, the coho, there is a good contingent of coho, 1.2 million. They actually have confidence in that number. I guess some years they make forecasts that they don't really have confidence in, but they have a lot of
weird.
Yeah, the last
weird.
The last 3 years? 1.8 million coho, 400,000 show up.
But the real significant part of the coho forecast, and it not lost on people, but like looking at the B run component is almost double what it was last year. And keep in mind, like, you know, there's a lot of coho available, a lot of hatchery coho available, and a lot of tribs in August, early in August. Like they show up, like they move through.
Right.
But the fishery, especially after the Chinook close, and for us for like twitching and doing all our fun stuff on the tribs later in the season, is the B run. And that, so even though we see that 1.2 million, like even last year we had over 1 million of coho. What would you rate coho fishing last year, Marlon?
It was okay, yeah.
Average. I mean, not like blow your socks off, but you caught, I mean, like average. Like it wasn't like we've seen.
Yeah.
But I think this year, even though the forecast is relatively the same, I mean, I think it went from 1.6 million, 1.2, whatever. But it's a lot of fish. But with that B run being double, and if we get it, like I think things can be really good. And because of that, after the Chinook closes at buoy 10, they're giving it a 3 hatchery coho limit, which I don't know if any of you guys have done the coho rodeo in September for bee runners. When they're there, it can get pretty, in the words of Drew, nasty.
Yeah.
It can get nasty.
It gets sideways pretty quick down there. I mean, it's you can fill your freezer pretty fast with 3 fish a day.
And quality fish, because those fish that are arriving later from the ocean are big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chinook size coho for sure.
Upriver in our backyard, up in the Middle River, it's gonna be a little different season. I feel like we took the beating.
We did.
So
that's gonna be pretty tough. Looks like we're gonna have to head above Bonneville once again.
That's right. So September 7th, from the Warrior Rock line down closes for Chinook, and then we get like one more week. Actually, it's like 6 days. It closes then from the 7th to the 13th from the Warrior Rock line to Bonneville. Same thing. They're just trying to avoid tule catch, and then the Middle River closes for the last 2 weeks of September, which is really kind of a bummer because that's when we see a lot of bright fishing. But for them to extend out, you know, some of the management goals for Chinook at buoy 10 to Labor Day, I feel like we should have some management goals in the Middle River that we'd like to obtain.
It's nice to fish in the backyard.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I catch more Chinook in the upriver than down there because the river's not as wide, the tide's not as big, the fish seem to stack. There's a million reasons why, but people still think buoy 10 is the best for Chinook. I'll let them think that. But the reality is the Middle River kills a lot of Chinook.
I like to fish where the river's 3/4 of a mile wide and not 4 miles wide because I know exactly where the fish are going to be at.
Exactly. But
it's a little easier.
Good news, which they didn't have in the first North of Falcon meeting, is they are going to plan on reopening in Columbia after October 1.
Which is fine because there's still lots of Chinook around and there's lots of coho.
B-run coho.
Yes.
So that actually wasn't in their docket. And I spoke up at North of Falcon and said, hey, this can't, no. I can't say no. There's very little tule burn later on in the season.
Yeah.
And it's 30 days of good, productive hatchery, coho, or any Chinook fishing.
And especially if we don't get a bunch of rain that first week or two of October, those fish stack at the mouth of the tribs, and you can have some pretty epic heydays in there catching fish when nobody else is out there because everybody thinks it's over with.
Well, a lot of guys go hunting. A lot of guys go in the tribs.
Yep.
No, I mean, I know Marlon be chasing horns and hooves, and I don't even think we got him out there last year.
No, I mean, once deer season and stuff comes around, I'm just
he has a free day. He's gone.
I love to hunt too,
but we appreciate that because we need more room. I'm just kidding.
More
There's lots of fish there. But those last 2 weeks of September, you said you're going above Bonneville, and that's going to be open. That's going to be open from August 1 till the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll head up there once the Middle River closes. I'll just head up there to one of the mouth of the other tribs, and unfortunately, you stay in a hotel and you're eating out every night, so you're burning a lot of extra money up there that you shouldn't need to because we should be back home. But anyways, I'll be up there, and the fishing's just as good, honestly, if not better.
If not better.
I mean, it's because those fish are even more stacked and they're even more well defined as far as where they're at, and a couple hours in the morning, you're usually done with all your Chinook, and it's pretty good. So that's where I'll be.
Overall, I think this year is going to be a very productive year, and I was hoping we could get Eric a little bit insight for talking about kind of through these seasons and the big plans and whatnot. You're not gonna No, never mind. I'm not even asked that. But those also, one other thing I breezed over is June 25th is the Marine Area 1 ocean opener.
Right.
And some of the guys that head up to Westport and stuff like that, they got a very lucrative season. Marine Area 1 season for coho take is $84,000.
I saw that.
What a haul.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there a lot in July.
Yeah.
At $8 a gallon gas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to hurt a little bit, but
Big time.
good news. Won't have to troll long, hopefully.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that now. I just cursed the whole fishery. I'm
my
sorry if the Marine Area 1 fishery sucks this year. It's my bad.
Hopefully at least the weather's nice out there and we're not pounding ourselves and
Snow squalls.
snow squalls in July. We'll get a hurricane.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
no.
lots of good fishing to look forward to this year. That's what I keep telling people is, it doesn't matter, what seasons we get as long as we have seasons and we have opportunity. Because without opportunities, we're sitting on the couch.
That's true. Days on the water, Eric will find them. That's for sure.
At least I'll find a couple wilds, I'm sure.
Make it happen.
Still fun to catch.
They are. But, after grinding, daylight till, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, every day for springers, it's nice to kind of transition over to fall and have those nice, done at 11, flayed fish, having a nap by noon,
Going
days.
out with your buddies.
Yes. Those days I really like, but, we'll see how it goes with this hatchery only down at Bhutan.
That might be a little, that's going to be a little weird, but I think overall, if they don't suffer a closure, an early closure down there, it sends the ripple effects
right
up the river, and then we see closures in the middle river, and it just kind of throws the whole management into a whirlwind. So I think if I would rather have them be a little conservative on the front end and not have to shake things up so bad on the
How many
back.
days what was it in the Middle River last year?
I think it was real similar to this.
Well, it closed on September 6th or 7th. Remember, it shut it down for that week or 10 days, kind of middle, because they basically said that the managers said they needed to stop and take a breath. We were whacking way too many toolies in the middle of the river, and all those tags were showing up, and it was blowing up the numbers. We argued that there was a lot of fish, and ultimately there was a little bit over forecast, but we were just really good at catching them last year. Really unlucky, which is why we'll talk about it when we get closer, really why the importance of not killing wild toolies, because you could be inadvertently bringing back that coated wire tag that represents a lot more fish to a fish checker.
Yep.
And it's not that you can't not give your fish to the fish checker, but maybe it's maybe don't kill the fish that are a little less quality and try to find those other ones, because it's important to the fishery.
Right.
But we'll talk about that in a later podcast.
All right, cool. Well, on another note, guys, we are ready. I'm so tired, dude, from this drive. I just want to fall asleep.
You
right
didn't
now.
even drive. You slept the whole freaking way.
I slept for an hour, maybe.
I was in traffic a lot longer than an hour.
Well, I guess maybe it only felt like an hour. Anyway, guys, if you guys didn't see, we also finally came out with our spring merch drop. So make sure you guys head over to the website. Some of the stuff already sold out, but we went big on a lot of it as well. So head over to the website, spring merch drop. Thank you guys so much for listening. Catch you guys on another one.
Laters.